Sorry about that, YouTube. We're live. My bad. My bad. Okay, 453. 453. Anybody have any questions so far? I've tried to walk through my whole process between entering and exiting, what I'm looking for on this move. I even circled the volume before it even occurred, and now we're up to 460. So, there you go. I hope y'all see the power in the volume in the 3 C's. It'll change your life. VPA, baby, that's all you need. What's up, Will, Jonathan, Adam, Techno Pig, Jonathan, again, what's up? Bienvenidos. China bans companies from purchasing NVIDIA. Well, that can't be good for their stock price. Doesn't matter, it'll go straight up. What's up, Matthew? How you doing? Hello. Good morning. In the Bookmap stream, Bookmap chat. Did I enter a trade on that volume? I did not enter a trade that volume. I entered a trade at the 10 o'clock bounce. I entered a trade at the 9:45 bounce, but I did not take this one because I'm waiting for 425. If you have Bookmap open, you'll see that big liquidity at 425. I don't want to get I don't want to enter too preemptively given that. So you absolutely could have taken it, and that was definitely a qualified 3C setup. But I'm personally waiting until 425. Like I said, I've already taken 2 trades, so I'm coming up on my trading limit. I usually don't trade more than 2 to 3 times a day, and I still have FOMC this afternoon. So I want to be very, very patient with my third and final entry here. And if I get 425 with a 3C high volume spike, might even move down to 420 or so, I'm going to take my third and final entry before FOMC. Coming back over. Nice little downward wedge. Nearly the same style of price action as yesterday in terms of movement. Do I only stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays? I do. Well, I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays as well, but they're locked for the Discord server. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is open for YouTube, the general YouTube population. Is that the 1 minute chart? This is the 1 minute chart. So I'm using the 1 to identify volume spikes. And once I see the volume spike, you switch to the 5, you confirm on the 5. Now sometimes on the stream you won't see me switch over the 5. It'll stay on the 1 because I've got Top Step up and I've got the 5 minute open on Top Step. So I'm watching both charts at the same time. But yes, I'll monitor volume spike on the 1. I'll switch over to the 5 to confirm price action and give me the second C. The 1 minute will check the box for the first C, or at least get it going. The second C will be indicated by the 5 or even the 15, and the third C is really situational dependent on the environment. How fast things are moving. If you're in a very volatile situation and you're waiting like a 15-minute 3C confirmation, especially on a day trade, you may wait through a 60 or 70 point bounce on NASDAQ before you finally get a confirmation. So it may not be in your best interest to confirm on the 15 on a tighter day or on a volatile day. Do I recommend avoiding trading events like FOMC? I will say this. Most of the time, traders aren't going to do well in FOMC. There's too much fear because there's too much in the back of your mind. You know that there could be a gigantic move coming or a gigantic candle coming. So you trade with a little bit more fear. You just trade differently, which is no bueno. So most of the time I would recommend either don't trade FOMC, just be a spectator and have fun, or if you are going to trade, make it a point to reduce your position sizing to your minimum risk parameters, which you should have a minimum risk parameter. A position where you need to enter based on a given setup, but you don't want to take too much risk. And maybe that's one micro contract. I got something for Kennedy. Where's Kennedy at? Where's Kennedy at? Hey, little guy. Hey, little guy. NASDAQ is killing me. How many 3Cs can you have? A lot. Can you show a couple examples of the 5 confirmations? Yeah. This one was fantastic. The overnight was fantastic. Bottom wick to show supportive nature. This price action makes me giddy. That right there is textbook 3C confirmation long opportunity. You should be salivating with your buy button right there. And once you kind of break over the 486 right here, 490, indication to go long if you're not already in. And that's on the 5-minute. And then you climb back up. That's 50, 60, 70 point win on NASDAQ. That's textbook right there. You see heat map? Oh, yeah. Share screen, change stream. There it is. Right there. That's a 3C, 5-minute 3C setup right there. You see them trying to defend this 425? Right there. Stupid Bookmap. Freaking Discord. There we go. Ever since Bookmap did a Discord, or Discord did an update 2 weeks ago, I can't change my stupid stream. It just randomly selects, and I can't change it. It takes me like 50 clicks to change the stream. Am I targeting along at 425? Yes, I am. I am targeting along at 425. That's what I'm waiting on. No positions currently. So let's look at the 1 minute real quick. Man, y'all are quiet today. We have this decent volume, I would say moderate volume spike right here. It led to a beautiful bounce, and they're starting to fail it. If they fail this, just be ready for 425, especially if you've got Bookmap. This is why you use Bookmap right here. Liquidity sweep, we have a skew down to 425. So let it do its thing. Anticipate shenanigans. Let it come down to 425. Give it some volume. Expect a little bit of a back and forth and sweeping. And then let's look for an entry. But I'm not taking anything before then. There's too much risk associated with that 425 for me want to enter preemptively. Come on, baby. Give it to me. Stupid Bookmap. No, it wasn't Bookmap. It was Discord. Man, Discord's terrible. Like, whatever they changed, I can't change my stream. %50 rejections on every leg. Nice. I didn't notice that. Nice AR. Some of y'all server tags crack me up. I need to get my server tags up and running. Coming off here, almost coming on down. Let it absorb then breach. So watch Bookmap. This will be a beautiful application of Bookmap. It's going to come down. It's going to stick to it for a couple of potatoes. You're going to see a large red bubble to absorb, and you're going to see a large move lower. The sweep lower, I would probably look for maybe 420, 418, somewhere in that ballpark. So just watch it. I think you're too early, Frumple. I think you're too early. We don't have volume yet. We haven't taken out 420 yet. So I think you're early. There's no confirmation yet of a long. So your confluence would be supply and demand zones with the volume anomaly, plus candle like a doji, plus intuition. Yes, 100%. So the fourth C that is kind of unspoken is location. Location is location. A very strong historical supply zone or a very strong historical demand zone. In this case, there's not really much at 425 here except the liquidity on Bookmap. We don't have a major weekly low, daily low. We have the Monday open. It's right at the Monday open, which also creates the imbalance from Monday session. Now they're about to wipe out 425. Coming on down. Do we get a volume spike in the 1 minute? Coming down. No volume spike yet. We haven't absorbed 425 yet. Once they sweep 420, remember the video someone posted a long time ago. If you want to trim up your entries, place your entry where you normally want to stop out. And that's what I'm looking for here. Let them sweep 425. Let everyone else try to buy the dip here and get wrecked. Another 10 points or so, and then we'll get our volume spike, we'll get our entry, and you'll get a much cleaner entry there. Here it goes. Red absorption, red bubble down. You're going to see them move down in a couple of potatoes. Watch this. They're sticking to it. Here it comes. There it is. Boom. There's 418. There's a volume spike. Now you can look for your long entry. Now you can look for your long entry. There's your green move. See if they can hold the 3C and claim over the prior highs, and you'll get your 3C bottom wing. What ticker's that? That's NASDAQ. NASDAQ. What's your strategy for Bookmap? How do you use it? I use Bookmap for identifying a skew in the order book. Where do I have orders on the book or off the book or lack thereof? Here since last Friday from the south of France. Nice, Matthew. Very cool, buddy. To get the Bookmap server tag, head to the top left of the server. Click there. Oh, thank you. Very cool. All right, here's the green coming back up now. Fantastic. If it can hold this, you'll get your bounce. This is your confirmation candle. If it can hold it, you'll get your bounce. Can they do it though? Where's Kennedy at? He's got to see this wedge. He's got to see this wedge. What's up? Am I in a trade now? I am in a trade, yes. You see what I mean, Frumple? Got to be patient. You had the right idea, but you were a touch early. Here's 433 coming up. This is my third and final trade until FOMC. Yes, correct. About to jump in here too. Yeah, if it holds the 5-minute, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the highest volume spike we've seen since 10 o'clock. It's obviously only on the 1 minute though. So if you want to see the 5, we have a bottom wick there. The real good confirmation to hold would be 442. Obviously, that's another 20 points up from here. So you have to expect shakeout, shenanigans, all that kind of fun stuff. But either way, I mean, even right there, 20, 25 points. Just got to get the confirmation. What time is it? 10:50. What's the option chain looks like? We have 897 million in puts, 219 million in calls. To Elm's earlier point, little time again, FOMC, the 0DT IV opened up 30%, continue to rise, and now it's 37. Yeah. Difficult to sell premium on days like today because that IV just gets jacked, and you're fighting an uphill battle, upstream battle, whatever. Five-minute doji on the Qs, yeah. Sweep candle. Yeah, I wasn't watching the Qs. NASDAQ, the futures of NASDAQ. Correct. Yeah. Red sweep candle there to go lower, even lower. So one initial bounce off the 425, 25 points. And now they swept it even lower. Shenanigans. Shenanigans? Shenanigans. So that's my final trade of the day until FOMC. So that's going to wrap it up for me. That's going to wrap it up for me until FOMC. I'm a poet and I know it. Bounce down from Rasky's morning range low. Yeah. Yep. Another 50% rejection. Is it really doing that all the way down? Interesting. Man, you're not kidding. That's all it's doing. Maybe that's why trend lines form. Maybe that's the secret to why trend lines form. I mean, all the way down, it's pulling 50s. Look at that. Interesting. If there's a 95% chance of a 25 basis points cut, the market has already priced that in. Then why is there such volatility when JPOW starts yapping? Because this is kicking off a change in market environment. And there's a certain degree of uncertainty coming over this. Because up until this point, we've been in predominantly a rate cut or a rate pause environment. Everything's been paused, no changes. JPOW has been wishy-washy on his sentiment. He's changed his thesis about 1 billion times on why he's making the decision to cut or hike. So now that we're actually finally starting to get a cut, and some people say that we actually need more hikes because the market is still, blasting all-time highs, although the data says otherwise, that looks like we're going to get a 25 basis points cut here. So there's still a degree of uncertainty there. Retest of Rasky's morning low. Oh, yeah, I don't even have my morning ranges on, dude. That's not like, what's going on here? Rejection of the morning low. That's what got me. So, oh, man. You're welcome, doctor. You're welcome. Top left server, click arrow to book server tag, adopt server tag. Okay, I'm going to do that. Thanks, Stan. Appreciate you, buddy. think server tags are good to go. All right, you can now adopt the Options Millionaire server tag if you so choose. Beautiful. Did they just sweep me out and go and bounce? You jabronis. That's okay. That's okay. How do we do that? Honestly, I don't know. I think you go to your little drop-down arrow at the top, you hit server tag, and you click on adopt server tag. How's ES looking on Bookmap? ES is looking pretty light. There's not much there. We have 66.66 liquidity, which is a little ominous. And that is pretty much it. We have 6,000, which is a big old Mac Daddy liquidity, but that's obviously 600 points away. What are they going to do here at the morning low? We're just scroll to the left. Because iron sharpens iron. I don't think you waited for enough outlier volume on that move. We got a significant outlier volume in the 1 minute, but you got stopped out. Perfect entry. There you go. You're probably right. I was waiting that 425. I mean, I got some profit out of it, but if this thing bounces all the way to 540, I'm going to be a little perturbed at myself. I'm official. There we go. The OM server tag. Nice. Hi, nice. As iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. I love it. What would happen if we moved 600 points on ES and hit that? That would be insane. I mean, that would be like April day stuff, that the bounce day. They just put on some liquidity at 66.60, 257 orders. NASDAQ stacking 400. I gotta meet up, be right back. All right, I'm back. Who added the extra boosts? I don't know. I don't know. What you got, Tenchi? What you just... Are you screen clipping me, bro? You screen clipping me? What's going on here? All right, so now we're stuck to 423, 425 area, which is exactly where I was looking for this market to bounce. We have a couple of high volume spurts on the 1 minute. We have not really any outlier movement on the 5, so we haven't hit a lot of heavy demand. Oh man, you know, you're getting old and you have to scream sneeze. Oh. All right, I'm good. I did heavy farmer's carries yesterday, so my traps are super sore. And then I just did a scream sneeze. So, oh. I need to take some ibuprofen now after that. You know you're getting old when you need ibuprofen after sneezing. Nice, Tenchi. Is Kennedy creeping around today? I don't know. 10 a.m. No more trading for the day after 10 wins. Give him back. Nice. Yeah, after 10 is terrible. Well job, Frumple. Well job. Well done. When you're sneezing, your back goes out. Yeah, good. Your back going out, man, is the worst thing ever. They're gonna hit 400, aren't they? It looks like it. Yeah. What did you miss? Trendlines, bro. Trendlines. You're my trendline guy. Where's the big volume? Right now, there's not much big volume. We had a 1 minute volume spike, but if you correlate on the 5, we don't really have much. The last volume spike we had was back at 10 o'clock. We had a small uptick at 10:30, but that's not a high volume spike, and we just shift on lower. So all that means is that if you're entering on the 1 and stuff like that, you're just gonna have to take quick profits. So the shorter the time frame you trade on, the less you can expect with you carryover continuation, and then the tighter you got to be with your expectations. And the more you confirm on the 5, obviously the more data, the more volume you're dealing with, the more confident you can be on holding positions. Why did the Dow and Russell rally while the S&P declined? Well, the S&P, the small caps on days like today, especially with rate cuts are traditionally good for the smaller caps in emerging markets. So maybe that's the smaller caps just kind of having a little rotation into those in preparation for this cut. What's your recommendation for learning more about investing? Read. Anna Colling's book, of course, although that she's more of trading than she would be investing. But then, in my theory on investing is very simple. It's not sexy. It's very simple. It's buy low and keep on buying. Buy the S&P. You could do VOO. You could do the Vanguard SP. It doesn't matter. Buy a SPY product and hold it forever. That's your number one recommendation for investing. Of course, max out your retirement accounts by 15%. Do it in a Roth. Although I think now they've closed the backdoor Roth, so if you make over 90K, you're no longer allowed to do the backdoor Roth. Some people say buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I personally don't dabble in Bitcoin, but admittedly, I wish I would have. But yeah, so buy the S&P and never stop. And down here. Yeah. Do I use Robinhood? I do not use Robinhood. I would never use Robinhood. Me personally. So now the Bookmap's liquidity is shifted down to 400. Now there's nothing else left of consequence here, or of significance, not consequence, terrible word. 425 was the only thing of structure there. 425 had 270 something, a lot of about 270. So the only thing left now is 400, and there's nothing there. There's only 77 orders. So most likely it appears we're going to come down to that. We're not getting any kind of major high volume spikes in the 5, so we're just going to trickle on down until you get a high volume spike. If you see a high volume spike, you can exploit the long side. Now, me personally, I'm done until FOMC. I'm allowing myself additional positions after FOMC because of a special event, but nothing until. I'm done. I've taken my 3. I'm out. Gold had a trendline macro bounce on the macro level and minor trendline break with retest. I missed all the good stuff. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Your future self is also saying, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin. I respect your future self. Yeah. I love it. Someone just posted, today is National Prop Firm Liquidation Day. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? I just got done presenting at a conference and I missed it as well. That's all right. What'd you present on? How taxation is theft? Please say yes. That was yesterday? Yeah. How do I use Bookmap in my strategy? I use Bookmap to identify skew on the order book. I want the order book to highlight to me where are orders resting as the majority. Is it higher? Is it lower? How are they managing that liquidity? Is it outlier quantity? If it's just a normal size book with like 20 orders up, 80 orders down, whatever, means nothing to me. I want to see 400, 500, 600 orders on NASDAQ or 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 orders on ES for me to identify skew. I don't care about the intricacies of the back and forth scalpers, the high frequency traders. I don't care about that. I want to see massive liquidity up or massive liquidity down. That's how I called that move earlier nearly perfectly. It's just watching liquidity. Do I feel any emotion at all while trading at this point? Of course I do. I'm human. But the difference is, do I react to those emotions? Whether it be positive emotions or negative emotions, I have to identify when I'm having those emotions and shut it down. Right now, I'm on cloud 9 because of how I'm trading the past month. But I know what happens when I let myself get ahead of me like that. I get wrecked. The second I get confident and cocky and greedy, I get wrecked. So I know I can have those emotions, but I cannot act on those. I have to have, in fact, I get stricter with myself the more profitable I get because I know what's coming. I know what's coming. Lorraine Bobbitt is coming. Stoicism? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Just need to add more moving averages. Yeah. Do I use? I don't know what that is. I got to pre-read Dan's messages before I read them out loud. Today's my first day of being a religion class instructor, kindergarten. Oh, very cool. I was voluntold by the school director, who's my wife. Nice. Nice. So many large liquidity. Yep, mainly large liquidity zones. Yep, the skew. The skew is a one-word definition for how I apply Bookmap. Where is the market predominantly positioned? Is it lower? Is it higher? And if it is, what's the quantity? If it's small quantity, then whatever. I'm not even going to let it fake me out. If it's big quantity, it's very difficult for them to move away from big skewed liquidity. And I mean multiple levels of skewed liquidity, one up or down. And I use that to my advantage. I'm going to tailor my bias to the skew. Trend lines seem very reliable. Can you just trade off of them? There are people that claim that you can. I personally do not. I don't place myself in the bounds of that comment because I'm a VPA trader. I think that you have to have volume to trade consistently and profitably and have full market understanding. But that's just me. Different strokes for different folks, right? Some people live and die by the RSI. But who said about the 50% thing? Was that NTG? That's interesting. I'm gonna research that a little bit. Maybe that explains why we get trend lines. 50% reduction. Maybe we're looking at the wrong point. Why does, instead of thinking why do they bounce off the trend line? Why is it creating the trend line? Maybe it's because every time we trend, we're just cutting 50% fibs in half all the way down. Maybe that's how the algorithm presents it, and then it creates a wedge on our visual primitive charts here. I don't know. Caught into the algorithmic parameters, that's right. Can you filter Bookmap to not show orders under X? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've always been fascinated by the whys of that stuff. I'm currently losing on both sides of my iron condor. Yeah. You're feeling the effects of that IC, baby. Or the IV, I'm sorry. Now they're going to change the algorithm. Apologize. Sorry, Ruin Brisky. Do we have high volume spike? No, we do not. Is this the sweep? I don't know. Bouncing back up. Bouncing back up. I'm currently in a SPY call holding neutral, slightly positive. I'm questioning what I see for a potential upside. How do I determine how long I hold this? All right. In my opinion, what do you see here on the 15-minute? Right now we have two bottom wicks down at the 400 area. So that is your target to not give up. If they come down, if they put a new high in here and then sweep back down, all right, one more thing I'll add to the mix. You see, or you're on SPY. So let's take a look at ES. What's the morning low on ES? 66.59. If they close a candle under 66.59, you need to get out of that call. No more hopium. Get out of the call if they break under 66.59. Secondly, here's your second indication to get out. If they breach over 66.65, hold a close over it, and then top tick back down and retest the lows, I would get out of that position. But give it a chance to break out and come up back up to the highs, which is only 10 points. You're not talking about a lot of movement here. I don't know what DTE you're playing with, but options on a day like today, just be careful. I'd rather you go with a non-theta related product. Hold until you're super red, then get emotional after you sell in revenge. Yeah, that's exactly how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. Double down, too. You forgot about dollar cost averaging. So this is the thing where TPT is better than Top Step. It's been 3 days now, and Top Step has not approved my payout yet, whereas TPT is the same day done in your account. I'm about to ask to speak to a manager. Change my name to Karen. Do you think it'll all be computerized? Do I think what will be all computerized? Everything? Yes, I think everything will eventually be computerized. Payouts? I think the prop firm industry in general in the next coming years will not look the same as it does today. I think they're going to take the fun out of it. There's too many retail traders making too much money. It's almost too good to be true. And I think they're going to shut it down here in a couple of years. So I don't know. Make it while you can. It's right. Make hay while the sun's shining. So yeah. 436. 438. Nicely climb here. Fantastic. Here is your indication for NASDAQ. NASDAQ has got to reclaim the morning low. If it does not reclaim the morning low, you are still in a technical downtrend, and you're at risk of going to under 400. NASDAQ has got to be able to reclaim 436, 24,436, and hold it. And that way you can start making a move back up to maybe the 50, which is about, 480, 490. And then after that, morning high. There we go. We have breached back into the morning low. So who asked me about that SPY call? You see what's happening right now with the SPY call? So here's your indication right here. It's got to get over 6665. Hold it, and now you can hold it for another 10 points or so. NASDAQ is doing the same. What is for lunch? Cuban sandwich? I'd love a good Cuban. Ground beef and eggs? Heck yeah, baby. Ground beef and eggs. Shrimp and broccoli and semi-spicy sauce. That sounds delicious. Breakfast skillet. Nice. I got some eggs from a local lady, and every single egg is a double yolk. Yeah. Most of my eggs are double. Well, half my eggs are double yolks. And one chicken, man, one chicken is a trooper, man. One of these chickens is like some of the chicks I met in college. Like, the eggs are gigantic. You can hear them, like, clucking down there. I feel sorry for that chicken. But they're all eating the same thing, so why is this one chicken getting gigantic eggs? I exit on 10%. I don't see a break above happening. Well, so far, not yet. Not yet. Oh, man. Jeans. That's an 80s jeans right there, 90s jeans. Alrighty. Feed them a little bit of grubs, worms, tomatoes. Yeah, I've given them a ton of tomatoes, like tons of tomatoes. Meat, tomatoes, lots of. We bought this gigantic bag of mealworms. Mix in some protein powder. How about some TRT? Chickens walking around looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just like punching air. Am I coming back at 150? I am, yes. What's the craziest day of trading you've ever seen? By far, the April bounce, the big day that we bounced in April. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Nothing will ever, I don't think anything will ever touch that. Unless we have like nuclear war or something like that. We had some crazy days in the coronavirus sell-off. But by far, that bounce in April was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Watching NASDAQ go up 1,500 points in about 30 seconds, literally in about 30 seconds, was insane. That ended up being the, I still have the screenshot somewhere, 12% NASDAQ day. I mean, it's crazy. Our chickens lay better when we give them black soldier fly larvae or mealworms and some oyster shells. Yeah, we give them a ton of mealworms, and it mixes in with chili flakes too. Imagine being all along. Someone was long in that. Someone was long in that. Yeah. It's crazy these industrial farms force feed chickens grains, soy, and oats. Yeah. Chickens are carnivores. 100%. That's why I'm pumped to kill a bunch of deer, because I'm going to throw the carcasses in the chickens and let them pick it clean. Chickens are modern dinosaurs, yeah. There's been, actually, we looked this up. There has been instances of the owner will die inside the chicken cage, and the chickens will eat the owner. Like, pick it clean. Looks like a Halloween decoration after it's done, because there's nothing but a skeleton left. Like chickens, man, you don't want to mess with chickens. You go to a chicken cage, you'll hear them whisper, "Relax, I just want to take some pictures." Get out of here, chicken. Yeah, pigs also. Yeah. Is there anything a chicken won't eat? Nothing that I've found yet. Gabagoo? No, chickens will eat gabagoo. Anyway, so we're still pinging off that 440 morning low. We're still pinging off the 6666 on ES. And I do not anticipate an upside move until it takes out those marks. I am not taking another trade at all, period, until after, I would probably say 15 to 20 minutes after he begins to talk. Not the posting, when he starts yapping. So what is that, roughly 2:45 Eastern Time? That's when I'm going to look to place another position. But that is it for me today until then. No ifs, ands, or buts. I saw something that said this morning, can't remember, but the lady said if you held the past couple of years in the 11 biggest days, you'd be up 30% and like 18% overall with the other days. Huh. What are my bookmap settings? What data provider? I use Rhythmic, and my settings are, I mean, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? I've got my heat map setting set to, I don't know, normal. And on ES, I've got it set to about 200. We have more liquidity coming up at 6643, though, by the way. It's been a while since I've set up my bookmap, so you'll have to be more specific. Four more minutes. Any other questions before we wrap this up? Back in high school, I ran long distance track, and part of our practice was to run a certain amount of miles away from the school and then back in a certain time. This one road we ran, it was a house that had chickens and the meanest rooster ever. It would chase us down the road a quarter mile. It drew blood on one of my friends. Oh, yeah. A mean rooster's mean. Still coming off. A little bit of red. A red candle's red. Oh my gosh. I guess that was a John Madden quote, huh? My buddy got chased by a mama black bear this weekend. Uh-oh. I thought black bears are supposed to be more docile than like brown bears. Coming back off right here. What are some good options calls to put in? I'll let you know at the end of the day. So, FOMC day is typically a shakeout day. So usually the end of today or early tomorrow morning is when you get the true move. So if we go super green today, I would be very, very inclined to take a swing put. Because they love to reverse FOMC the day after. That day, April 9th, was nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. 800-point candle on the 15-minute. It was nuts. Wow. All right, I have a philosophical question for you. Say you were given a time machine. You had to go back to one time to financially gain from having a time machine. Would you go back and max position call far outside the money calls on that day, or would you go back and play the lottery? Lottery would be obviously easy choice, easy, like money's instant, but it'd be a lot more fun to play the calls. Like 300-point outside the money calls 10 seconds before that hits. You'll make all the money in the world. And then the SEC would kick down your door. Yeah, that top wick is almost 400 points. That'd have been rough. You wouldn't get investigated. Yeah, you would. 100% you would. Bitcoin 2010. Yeah. Would you think putting on a call before the decision is a good idea? I personally don't like doing that. Me personally. All right, y'all. That is 11:30. Unfortunately, I have to call that a day for the Bookmap stream. They got to bring on somebody else. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. It's been a pretty fantastic day. Obviously, a very slow session here for the Bookmap, but the morning was nice. A couple of trades. I've taken 3 trades today. I'm not going to touch anything else until FOMC. I will be back on here about 1:45 Eastern Time, give or take. Don't hold me to it, but roughly. I'll come on before the decision. I'm anticipating a 25 basis points cut. I'm anticipating shenanigans. So, as we always do. Hope you had a good day. Hope you, if you have any questions, hit me up. If not, I'll see you next Wednesday for Bookmap or in a few hours for the Discord stream. I'm out. See you.